Hello guys, in this video we are going to build a new React project. We are going to build a chess game. So is the game that we will be building in this tutorial. The game has a board and a move logs which keeps track of the game. So players can move the pieces according to standard chess rules. Any invalid chess rules are not allowed, like this. Okay, so and the game shows us status and you can create new games. Okay, so this will be very easy. This is not hard as it looks. We'll make use of some external libraries to do this. Okay, so are you ready? Let's get started. This video is sponsored by AIvideo.to. AI Video is an AI with which you can create short videos with AI by just writing a topic. Okay, you can also generate AI music videos. For example, this one.
Wake up in the morning, rise with the sun. Made a boy ready, grab my shoes, run. Face the world, ain't back in the back,
Right? So you can create this without even writing a prompt by just entering your song or video title and the AI generates it. So check out AI Video now. So let's begin by creating a new React project and starting the server. So I've already created a new React project with White and started my server. So the next thing to do is install some dependencies. So let's create a new tab and install yarn add. So you can install with npm if you are using that. Yarn add react-chessboard, and second is chess.js. Okay, check the spelling and hit enter. So the dependencies have been installed. Let's open our code editor. I'm using VS Code. So this is my app right now, and this is how it looks in the browser. So let's create a chess game component. Chess game.jsx, and here. So let's start by typing out the structure of this component. Chess game, right, equals, and we'll use arrow functions to define this component, and we'll return some markup from here. Okay, and let's export default chess game from here, right? And first of all, let's just create a div like this, which is empty for now. So now first of all, we want to create a state variable that will hold our entire game state. Okay, we'll call it game, set game, and we'll declare it using the useState hook. So the initial value, we'll just get to it, but this is how you import useState from React. Okay, now the initial value will be the initial state, and we'll create it by new chess, calling this function. So where does this chess function come from? We'll import it from chess.js like this. Chess.js is the library that we just installed. Okay, so our initial state for the chess game will be created from the library like this. Okay, the second state variable we want to create is called the move log, to keep track of the user's moves. Okay, so we'll call it move log and set move log, and initially this will just be an empty array. Okay, like this. Let's display our chessboard on the screen. Sounds good? Okay, so first of all, we'll create a div and we'll give it some style. Let's say container style. We'll define container style shortly, right? And inside of this, let's create another div and give it a style of board container style, right? Now inside of this div, we'll create another div and give it a style of status style. Okay, now this div will show the game status, right? Like if any player is in check, if it's checkmate, things like that. Okay, so we'll call a function called getGameStatus, which will display all of that, right? And then outside of this div, we'll display our chessboard. So we'll import chessboard from react-chessboard like this. Now this chessboard takes a few attributes or properties, props, right? So position will get from the game that we defined from the game state, and we'll call a function called fen, game.fen. Okay, this gives us the initial position. Second prop will be on piece drop, right? Whenever a user drops a piece by dragging it somewhere, and we'll pass a callback here on drop, which we'll define in a bit. And then we'll define some custom board style, right, to give it some styling. So we'll give it a border radius, of 4px, and we'll give it a box shadow as well, so it looks nice. So let's say 0, 2px, 10px, side, top, and then the color, let's say 0, 0, 0 with an opacity of 0.3. So 3 zeros and then opacity. Okay, so box shadow. Now these are the board styles, and let's also declare the custom dark square style. So there are two kinds of squares, one is white and the other could be anything. So we'll define a different color for the black squares. We'll maybe make it green, right? So let's say background color, and you can pass whatever color you want here, right? 779952. So this will be a green, like, so if you have played chess on chess.com, this is something similar to that. Okay, and after we have defined custom dark styles, we'll define custom light square styles as well to imitate chess.com. So we'll give it a background color of, let's say, EED1. Okay, and save this, and this will be it for our chessboard component, right? And after this, we'll just create a button, and this button will have an on click handler, and on click will just reset the game, right? We'll call the reset game function. This button will be to reset the game. We'll pass some styles to it, let's say button style. We'll define it, and after button style, we'll also do like some hover effects. So we could say on mouse over. We could do it with CSS, or we are doing it here with JavaScript just for learning purposes. So the event, and in the callback we just do event.target.style.background color, and we'll give it some color, let's say 1976D2. Okay, and then on mouse out, similarly we'll give it some color, e.target.style.background color, and we'll give it #2196F3. Okay, so this is a reset game button. Let's just give that title here, or maybe we can just say new game. So when you click on this, a new game is started. Okay, now before going any further, let's declare some of these things that we have referenced so far. Okay, so let's declare the get game status function. Okay, get game status, and we'll use arrow function syntax to define this. Now inside of this function, first of all, we'll check if game is over or not. Okay, so is game over? We'll call this function from this library from the initial state, right? So if game is over, then we'll check if the game has a checkmate. So if game is checkmate, in this case we'll return the status as checkmate. Makes sense, right? Now, if the game is over, and then we'll check if the game is draw. No one won. Okay. So if the game is draw, then we'll just return stalemate. You know this if you play chess, right? If you're good at chess. After stalemate, if the game is draw, we'll return draw. Now stalemate is a different condition, right? I'm forgetting my chess, I guess. So if the game is stalemate, then we'll return stalemate, right? No moves left for one player. And if the game is draw, if the game is stalemate, stalemate. Now if none of this is true and the game is still over, we'll just return game over. Okay. Now if the game is not over, right? Then we'll check if there is a check on the board. If game in check. If there is a check, we'll just return check. Right? If nothing of this is true, then we'll just return which player's turn it is to move. Okay? So let's create a string template literals. Right. So first of all, we'll use game.turn. So this will be, we'll need to check this. So we'll check if game.turn is W. If it is, then we'll display white, right? Like this, right? If it is, then we'll display white. If it is not, then we'll display black. And outside of this, to move, right? So white to move or black to move. So our game status, get game status function is done. Next, let's define a reset game function. Okay. So const reset game, again arrow function. Right. Now here we'll just do set game, and we'll create a new instance of the chessboard and set our game state to that. And then we'll set a move log to an empty array as well. Okay. So this will be our reset game function. Now, another of our main function, let's define our final function called onDrop. When a player moves a piece, okay, drops a piece by moving it. So to do this, now this will be an expensive function, and we need to make sure that this runs only once, right, for a particular input. So we'll define it using use callback hook. Okay. So inside of use callback, we'll create arrow functions, and the parameter will be source square. Okay. First is source square and the second is target square. So from where to where the player is moving the piece. Okay. Now in the callback, we'll define try catch blocks. Right? Catch will just have error, and then this error, if there is error, we'll just return false. Okay, you can display some message, but for now we are just returning this. Okay, now inside of try, we'll define a move. Okay, const move, and we'll get game.move, right? And now this move will have some parameters. Okay, we'll pass an object to this move function. So basically, whenever onDrop function is called, we'll need to update the game with the current move object. Okay, so this is how we define the move object. So first is key is from. So the from will be the source square. The 2 will be the target square, right? And if there is a promotion, we'll mark it as Q, right? So by default, we are promoting any piece to queen. We are not giving any option for now. Okay. Right. So after we have defined the move, now if it's a valid move, we'll check for that. Then we'll set the game. We'll update the game state to be a new chessboard, and including this move, okay, like this. So whenever a new move is made, we'll create a new chessboard and display that by replacing the old one. Okay, so after we have set the game, we'll create a move notation to display in the log, right? Called move notation, and let's use template literals. We'll call game.turn like this. Okay, and we'll check if this is white. If yes, then we'll do black. If not, then we'll do white, right? And so if it's W, we'll do black. If it's white, if it's not, we'll do white. Okay, and the reason why you'll see now how we are structuring it. Let's call move.san, S-A-N. So what this gives us the standard notation of the move played by the player in terms of chess notations. Okay, so this will give us the move notation, and then finally we'll set our move log. We'll get the previous one, and then we'll just append our current in that array. So first we'll unpack the previous array, and then we'll add our move notation new for the new move like this. Okay, so this, what we are creating is we are setting a new log in the move log. We are getting the, but we don't want to reset the existing logs, right? So first of all, we set all the previous logs like this by unpacking it in an array, and then we add our new move notation like this. Okay, so after we have done this, we'll just return from here saying true. Okay, now if there is an error, we return false, right? And if nothing is here, then we just return true. Okay, now the use callback hook takes a second argument, and we'll just pass the game board. Whenever the game board updates, this function is called. Okay, so we have defined our on drop function, our get game status, and our reset game, right? Now the things that are left to be defined are some of these styles, right? We'll define our styles, but first let's go and create our move log, right? So this is our div for our board container. Now outside of this div, we'll define a new div. We'll give it a style called move log style, right? Inside of this, we'll declare an h2 and give it a style of, let's say, margin bottom of 15px and a font size of, let's say, 18px, and that's it. And this h2 will just say move history. Okay, now inside of this div, we'll define another div, give it a style of move list style. Okay, now we'll check the move log's length first. If the length is greater than 0, right? If it's true, then show something. Sorry, if it's true, then show something. If it's false, then show an empty state. Okay, so let's define the empty state first. This will be a div. Let's give it some style, and for now let's just say text align. Let's say center, and give it a color of, let's say, 666, and a font style of italic. Okay, div, right? Now this div will just say no moves yet. Okay, because the move log is empty. Move log dot length is 0 or less than 0. Now here we'll define a div, right? Or instead of a div, what we'll do is we'll map over the move log first. So move log.map will get the current move and index, and in a callback arrow here we'll define a div. This div will have a key of index and will have some style as well. Let's say move item style. Okay, div. Now here we'll just display our move number and our move. Okay, so let's create template literals, and inside of that we'll do math.floor and current index divide by 2 plus 1. Okay, dot move like this. Okay, so this will be our move log. Now we have defined all our markup. The only things remaining are the styles. So let's just quickly go over and define all the styles at once. Okay, so first of all, I'll just type out everything quickly. Okay, so you can just watch. And then give it some padding. After padding, a display flex, a gap of let's say 20, then flex direction, flex direction will be based on window's width, so window dot inner width. If it's less than 768, show something or else something else. So we'll do row, and if it's mobile, we'll do column. Okay, so this is our container style. Now let's define our board container style. Board container style will just have flex as 2 and max width of 600 px. Okay. Now next up, let's say move log style. And this will have a flex of 1, a border, let's say 1 px solid, triple E, and then a padding, let's say 10. Right, so that's for that. After that, let's define move list style. Now this will have a height of 400 px, an overflow y to make it scrollable, and an overflow y of auto, and then a border, and the border will just be 1 px solid as triple E, and then a padding of 10 px. After that, we'll define the move item style, and we are almost there, just hang with me. Right, so we'll define a padding of 8 px, a border bottom of, let's say, the same as this one, right? And then finally background color, which is white, like this. Okay, now 2 more, I guess, button style. So like this, and we'll give padding 8px, 16px, then background color, and which will be, let's give it something different. Let's say 219 6f3, and the color white. So this is for a button, right? The reset game button. We'll give it a border of none, and then we'll give it a border radius as well. Let's say 4px, and then give it a cursor, cursor as pointer, and a margin top of 15px, right? And finally, status styles. Okay, so this is the last one. We'll give it a font size of 20px, and then we'll give it a margin bottom of 15px, and then text align center, and finally color. So the color will check on a condition. We'll check if the game is in check or not. So if the game is in check, we'll show some red color, the status in red color. So D3 2F 2F. Okay, if not, then we'll just do something like gray, right? So these are all our styles, our game, and all our logic. So let's go to app.js and import this game here, right? So we'll do chess game like this, import it like this, and embed it like this. Okay, let's remove this, save. So here is our chess game. Now let's try to play it. You can create new game whenever you like. So let's move a piece, white. Okay, now you can do some error handling and testing, right? So let's try to move this horse, which cannot, this camel, which cannot be moved. Let's say here. Sorry, I said it camel, but it's also bishop, right? So yeah, here we can call it camel as well, right? So any invalid moves are not allowed. For example, moving this pawn to here is not allowed. Only the legal moves are allowed, right? So you can take that, and you can see that the move history is being recorded here. Takes d5, d5, e4, and you can play the standard moves, right? Let's try to do some mate and checking. Okay, so you can see check, right? And it's shown in red color. And for example, queen takes that, and there is turn. So this is black's turn to move. Now what would black do? Let's do something like this. Let's try to do a checkmate. Okay, so we go here, and then black can do this. We can put this here. Black does something like this. We go here. Black is in check again. Black goes here. We go here. Black is check again. And black goes here. So how do we get this to be checkmate now? Okay. Let's take the rook first. Then maybe black does something like this. And here, this. So, I could have taken, but we are trying to do a checkmate. Okay, so here, and king is in check again. So there are two squares, one square to go only, which is this. So I guess what I can do here is, first of all, take this, right? And then black does something like this, and then finally do this. Yeah, so we have checkmate, and our game has ended, and you can see all the moves here. Now then you can restart the game from this, right? So no moves yet, and our board is reset. So pretty good, right? So that's it for today's video. Please subscribe to the channel.